Hey guys, it's Will again. Welcome back and thank you for continuing my journey of transformation with me. Now, I'm about to show you something that, let's be honest, I'm a little bit embarrassed by and I don't really want to show you, but I think it's important to let you know why and how this body transformation is going to kick off. Okay, so this is where I'm starting from. This is me a little bit earlier on before I started recording this video. I wanted to give you the honest starting place of where I am and why it's important to me to start this body composition recomposition as quickly as I can. We've talked about it a little bit in the past, but for me, it's not really a vanity issue. I'm not looking to look better or, improve how I appear to my wife or others or anything else. But for me, it's more of a health issue. Right now, I am considered obese by most standards. And I want to go through why this is important to me to change. But in order for me to do that, I have to give a realistic starting point. And for me, the realistic starting point is, who am I? Who am I today? And this short video kind of shows where my problem areas are and how I need to fix them. So as we begin this, it's not like I'm obese width-wise. I'm not showing huge love handles or anything like that. But I do carry most of my extra weight right around the middle, which for a middle-aged man is pretty typical. I'm carrying most of it from my mid-chest down to my waist. And for me, that's a dangerous area because carrying so much weight has health problems associated with it. Now, as I've said before, I believe that at least at the moment, I'm a reasonably healthy guy. I can do running, I can do extended sports outside. I can do a lot of things, but that's functional. That's not internal. And for me, trying to get these things fixed internally is what's so important to me. Because I want to be there for my daughter, my wife, the rest of my family. I need to extend my life and make sure that as an older dad, I'll be there for the long term. So where's the starting point? For me, as of this morning, I'm 271.2 pounds. That's my starting weight. For me, in order to be out of what would be considered the obese zone, I would need to drop my body fat to somewhere closer to 24%. 24% by most scales is right about that place where you go from at risk to obese. So for me, that would probably be another 30-ish pounds to drop down to that point where that would become a part of it. Also, one of the things that I measured was my stomach measurement at my belly button. Since this is where I'm carrying most of my weight, I needed to have something that I could start measuring and seeing if I'm making an improvement, not just with a weight number or not just with an approximated percentage number, but something that would give me visual evidence or make myself feel like the process is working. So I decided to do measurement at my belly, right at the belly button. And for right today, that was 48.5 inches. Now, how am I going to improve this? Well, I'm looking at it as a 90-day to maybe 120-day range. I want to really tighten up the range on how I'm doing this so that I can evaluate if I'm doing the right things. Is it working? Do I need to tweak things and update as I go along? My target loss is probably closer to the 1.5 pounds as opposed to the 1. That's sustainable. Anything beyond that, I've found in the past that if I try to lose weight, I can be really aggressive and I'll lose a lot of weight initially, but then it pans out and I start to rebound. I want to make sure that what I'm doing is sustainable. And again, it's not just about my weight, it's about the health. And so I need to do this in a way that is sustainable, that I can continue to do it and continue to improve my health as I go along. For that 120 days, my target measurement around my belly, around the belly button, will be 40 inches, so losing 8 inches around that belly. Again, if I'm doing what I'm trying to do and I'm losing the body fat where it is, this should be attainable. Even if I don't get there, that's fine. If I see any progress, then I'll continue that. And obviously, like I said, my initial target on body percent fat approximated is 24%. Anything above 24% is considered obese. Now, part of this means that I also have to, at my age, do some things differently. There's a lot of people out there who will tell you all about how you can get ripped in 90 days and you can lose 15 pounds and all of these other things. And I'm not saying that they're lying, but most of them don't take into account you, and in my case, me, and what the physiology of being 53 years old is. I don't have as high a testosterone level as most young men, so I can't do the same types of things, activities, workouts that they would do. I can't do 2-a-days. I can't do multiple gym sessions, not only because my body won't handle it, but because my lifestyle says you only have so much time. Otherwise, you're taking it away from your family and your daughter, and that's the whole reason I'm trying to do this, is to spend more time with them. So a couple of the key goals for me, like I said, somewhere between 20 to 25 pounds in the first 90 days. That would be ideal. Some progress towards my measurements around my stomach, and again, the approximated body percentage fat. While along the way, I expect to build some strength and muscle tone, and we'll kind of move from there. Now, I'm really lucky. As we've mentioned before, I'm incredibly active with a lot of high-level and elite-level rugby. So I've had access to some really great strength and conditioning coaches, and they've helped me put something together that will work for me at my age. I don't claim to know everything. I don't think that just looking on YouTube would have been super helpful for me. I probably would have gotten ideas. But this allows me to go to somebody who does this for a living and can help me really build something that's tailored towards me and what I'm trying to do. So the way that I've figured it out is that I do have a gym membership, so I'm going to be doing 3 days a week. I'm going to be doing strength training. And again, this is more to become functionally healthier, not so much because I want big muscles or anything else. And then I'm going to have 2 days a week where I'm doing cardio at home. I happen to have a treadmill here in my house, so I'll be using that to build up my cardio and improve the fat loss from there. 2 days of rest during the week to make sure that I have that. And again, I'm lucky enough that I work remotely for my corporate job, so this shouldn't be a hard thing if I try to set up my schedule where first thing in the morning, let's call it 6:30 to 8:30, somewhere in there, I can go ahead and I can do these workouts, whether they're at the gym or at home. Now, some of you will probably ask, and I'll throw up some examples here of what does that strength training look like. It's a 3-day split. It's upper body, lower body, full body. And that'll be the approach that I take, again, based on the recommendations from the strength and conditioning coaches that I've worked with and that have provided me with some assistance on this. So here's an idea of some of the types of activities that I'll be doing as part of that strength training. And I'll be sharing kind of my progression through that via my app that I track everything with. We'll be walking through that, showing how I'm progressing and showing you real results as we go along. Obviously, just working out, just being cardio won't do it, right? Especially at my age, at 53, macros are hugely important. And I know that that's a term that gets thrown around a lot. To me, it just means the things I should be eating in the proportions with which I should be eating them. So at this point, my target goal right now for daily calories because of my activity levels is about 2150, which is about a 500 calorie deficit from where I would normally be at my size, my age, everything else. The 160 to 180 protein is huge because, again, at my age, lower testosterone levels, body changing, hormones changing, muscle loss is a real thing. So in order to prevent that, in order to create a better blend and not lose my muscle mass while I'm trying to do all of this work, I need to keep my protein levels up so that those workouts take, that my body repairs itself. And these are really important things that I've been told. Again, I'm not an expert, but I've been told that this is one of the keys, especially for older people, when they go into trying to lose weight or become functionally more healthy, that they need to maintain muscle loss. And this will help preserve that. The carbs and healthy fats, these are again just based on my particular setup. Yours will vary slightly, so I recommend talking to somebody who really knows what they're doing before you set up your own, or at least try to get some advice. Now, obviously, what we build our meals around, this is nothing new. Lean proteins, real carbs, oats, rice, sweet potatoes, as many vegetables as I can get, and some high protein snacky food like Greek yogurts, cottage cheese, etc. I'm not a huge sugary drink or juice person to begin with, so not a big thing for me. Refined carbs and fast food, I'm going to have to do that. That's something I'm going to have to make sure that I'm really, really cognizant of. Alcohol, I'm not a big alcohol drinker at the moment. Maybe when I was younger, but not so much anymore. So again, not a big thing. And ultra processed snacks, guilty. Again, one that I'm really, really going to have to work hard at to limit out of my diet to make sure that these things are moving forward and doing well. And then lastly, what is this beyond just the workouts? What are the other things that, again, at my age, at an older age, will make this process considerably easier? Hydration. Mostly because dehydration, especially if you're like me, if you're sitting around, you're doing work, you're doing remote work, you're not, super active, you don't think to drink a lot of water. Problem is, dehydration can often mimic hunger. So you end up eating more because you think you're hungry when it's really you just need water and you're dehydrated. So I want to make sure that I stay fully hydrated throughout this, especially as I start the new workout program, to make sure that my energy levels stay up, and that I'm helping to recover my body. Now, the next one, sleep. I don't know how to say this. This is one of the most important pieces of the puzzle. And again, that's not just me saying that. That's all of my strength and conditioning coaches. That's all of my friends. That's all of the people that I know within the athletic community. Sleep. It is the biggest robber of both energy and progress. 7 to 8 hours. Okay. Now, you might have a different sleep schedule. For me, at my age, mine generally tends to be around 7.5 hours, and that's where I'm at my peak. Anything beyond that, I get a little lethargic. Anything less than that, my body starts to shut down and it's not as effective as it normally is. So for me, it's about that 7 to 7.5 hour range. But this is the key. If you can't recover, if you don't sleep, then most of your progress is going to be lost or at least slowed. So this is going to be a big one for me. And again, I happen to wear a Forerunner, a Garmin, and this tracks my sleep and my sleep quality. So it's something that I'm going to be graphing along as I go along to make sure that this is hugely important and I keep at it, that I'm not losing my sleep cycles, that I'm not sabotaging my own progress. Blood work, I'll probably set up an appointment so I can share that stuff with you, just to get a baseline of most of my numbers. I can tell you right now that my bad cholesterol will be elevated. It won't be quite to the bad point, but it will be elevated. My high pressure, or my blood pressure rather, will be good. It almost always has been, regardless of where I am body-wise, simply because of my stress levels and everything else. I tend to keep really good blood pressure. So if that starts going up, it's a really big key indicator for me because it's never been a problem. And then tracking. Going to be putting this all out there, weighing myself once a week, same time, same place, same bat cave, same bat person, if you're old enough to remember that. But we're going to be doing that so that, again, we can track not only for myself, but so that I can share with you and you guys can help me stay far more responsible and accountable for all of this. One of the best quotes I've ever heard was, "You can't out-train a bad night's sleep." And again, that came from one of the strength and conditioning coaches from the German national teams. It stuck with me, and I still think to this day it's right. So can't overemphasize how much that is. How am I going to log my meals? I was originally going to use my Fitness Pal, which is a US-based product. However, I hadn't used it for a long time, and I wanted to track something that was more nutrition-based. I have a different app called Heavy that I'm going to be using for most of my workout stuff. But what I found was, since the last time I used it, my Fitness Pal has gone through the roof in terms of pricing. Almost everything that's valuable about it as an app, making it easy, making it user-friendly, you now have to pay for all those things. So right now it's basically a shell of what it used to be. What I did find was one called Fat Secret. It does almost all the things that my Fitness Pal did originally before they started putting in the pay gates. So I'll be using that. I'll let you know how I think about it, but for me, it's just a tool. I'm not trying to sell anything. It's what I'm going to use because it's free, and it does almost everything that my Fitness Pal used to. So we'll go from there. We'll keep tracking our stuff. We'll be sharing it with you on a weekly basis to make sure that we're working towards the right things. And then again, as the week goes on, we'll try to create some videos around what does my actual workout look like? What do I try to do and get you some of that information. But overall, this is my high level approach, and this is how I'm going to try to do my body recomposition at an older age. Okay, so again, just a reminder, I'm not chasing some number on a scale. I just want to be healthier. So for me, yes, there are some visual indicators. My weight will be one of them. My circumference of my belly around my belly button will be one of them. But the blood work is going to be super important to me. How am I improving over those first 90 days with the blood work? Am I actually beginning to see progress against the health numbers that are underlying, that are beneath the surface, that you can't see with a scale or you can't see with a camera? Now, I'm under no illusions that this isn't going to be hard. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you're trying to do it for really, really important reasons. Like I said, for me, it's for my daughter, so that I'm staying healthier, that I can continue to be active with her as I grow over the next few years, especially now at 53. As I start to get a little older, bodies start to break down, but I want to make sure that I still have all the energy in the world to hang out with my 7-year-old daughter. The other part that makes it hard, most people do this in silence. They might talk to their friend or their wife or their spouse about what they're trying to do. I'm sharing it with all of you as well. So not only is it just, I want to do this for me, I want to make sure that everybody can watch my journey. And again, hopefully somewhere along the way, somebody goes, hey, if he can try it, I can try it. And maybe we succeed together. Here's to being successful at this. If you're going through a transformation, if you're working on your body, if you're trying to improve things about yourself, let me know what it is. Put it down in the comments below. Again, we'll share it as a community. We'll share our successes. We'll share our failures. We'll make sure that we're supporting each other. And I can't wait to see you guys next time. Have a great day.